Stop feeding your limiting beliefs. Every time you feed that limiting belief, you're adding a brick to the wall of, never surpassing or overcoming to climb the wall that, is stopping you from getting to the other end of where you need to go. Every time you make that excuse, every time you stop and impede yourself from taking the step and climbing the wall you need to overcome is, every time we jump the fence like it was nothing. You have to understand that you said you couldn't, but we actively demonstrate that you can. You said you couldn't go to the gym. We go to the gym 3 times a day, every single fucking day, extreme intensity. You said you couldn't wake up at that assigned wake up. Every day on Instagram, we post a 3 a.m. wake up like it's nothing. Every day you said you couldn't quit the vices, but we are overcoming our vices and the temptation to go back every single day. So understand that you are lying to yourself and you are adding bricks to the wall that you need to overcome. You are adding layers to the wall that you need to break through. To continuously run into that wall and, wish to break it, but then to build against yourself and to stack the bricks on that wall that you need to break through, is to be rendered mentally inferior, especially if you believe that, it's okay to make an excuse. It's okay to fail yourself. You have to understand, every time you make an excuse is every time you failed yourself. And so that's why we try to tell you and embed into your psyche and, tell you straight up the truth is if you make an excuse, you are mentally inferior, because at the highest level, you don't need to make an excuse. At the highest level, you will do 10 things, get it all done. But you're not operating at the highest level. But you say you want to be the highest version of you. You want to be the best you. Well, the best you gets everything done at the highest level. And if you can't be the best you, well, then you're less than the best. And if you're less than the best, well, there's a fucking problem because you only live once. Time is decreasing. And, your existence is finite and ephemeral. And so to sit there and to, allow these excuses to block you from what you need to overcome to develop into something more in life and to overcome that brick wall that is keeping you stuck, on the other side of where you don't need to be stuck on the side you want to overcome. But, how are you going to overcome or break through the brick wall that you're adding bricks upon every time you make that excuse? You have to understand how your brain works. One excuse turns into 2 excuses. 2 excuses turns into 3 excuses. You have to understand that your brain operates off of patterns. You have to understand that you are sequencing thoughts, and these thought sequences are, patterns of thinking. And when you tap or resonate into being a lazy piece of shit, well, that shit is going to continuously manifest and perpetuate in your existence. So you have to begin by overcoming those short-circuited excuses. And you do that by, being aware of them. Most of you guys aren't even aware when you make an excuse. You just pass it off like it's nothing. You pretend like you just didn't rob yourself out of the growth you need in life. The, high vibration or the overcoming of what you need to overcome to be better in life. You guys are stuck at this low level and you're adding bricks to the wall that you need to break through to surpass. And so when we call you a mentally inferior, low-level chimpanzee that cannot be a basic functioning organism to sit there and deplete yourself with the cigarette, with the smoke, with the vape, with the drink, to sit there and be a low-level piece of shit instead of just wake the fuck up. Understand that, you need to be the best version of you. If you want to experience the high quality, you need to become the high quality first, or the high quality will seem low because your reality is a reflection of you, and what you perceive, externally is a reflection of what you inhabit internally. And so you can, pretend like, you're high quality, but if your habits reflect less, then it's less. And you have to understand that you can make the change you need to make, but you won't make that change if you're going to sit there and build and add and continue to, construct this brick wall that you need to run through. You have to run through the wall, and you are building it, and you are sitting here and making excuses. So every time you make an excuse, remember that you're mentally inferior, and that's the only fucking truth. Not some slave shit, but I mean, like, Your habits are a reflection of your soul. If you indulge in the porn, if you could sit there and stroke your dick to pixels, you are mentally inferior. If you need a drink, if you need a tampon in your mouth to make you feel comfortable because life is stressful and you feel uncomfortable to be, living, to be a living fucking organism, and life is a bit, too much for your fucking brain to handle, or your micro mind, your micro consciousness, for your micro consciousness to fucking understand, to sit there and complain about life instead of become the solution. All of you guys are walking fucking problems, and then this catharsis of a complaint, is just reestablishing and adding another layer to the brick wall that you need to run through. And so the choice and the power is within you, because you are the wielder of your will and the choices that you make. And every choice, is essentially just a time collapse. When you make a choice, there's going to be sequencing events due to that choice that you made, and you are collapsing time to the result of what that choice will bring. And so if you sit there and you smoke and drink all day, well, you just collapse time to this result where you're going to be a low-level piece of shit addicted fucking bum until you hit the fucking casket, unless you make the change. And to make a different choice is to change the result of what you are collapsing in time. So understand that, everyone is stuck and caught on the past and the future, but both of those are intangible. The only thing that is tangible is the present moment. And once you ground yourself in yourself and you fully understand that the only thing that truly exists right now is the present moment, and the power is within the choice that you make now, to not worry about the past, to not worry about the future, but to understand that the control that you want and seek is in the power of the present moment and the choice therein. So the choice that you have right now to make the choice of development is to change the outcome or the result of which you are time collapsing in your current existence. And so when I say time collapse, it's a metaphysical concept, but understand that time collapse is simply just, a result awaiting in the future that is intangible. So if you sit there and, you smoke and you drink, well, the result of your lungs being fucked up is now time collapse, because that's what you put your time and energy into. And what you put your time and energy into is going to guarantee you a result, because that's what you are channeling. You're channeling your life essence into that with perpetuity to create something in your life, a specific outcome, and a result. And you can do that unconsciously or you can do that consciously. And so your goal should be to become as conscious as possible. Most of you guys are picking up the cigarette and going through packets without even, being aware to the fact you just ran through a whole packet. You go through a packet and you're already at the gas station buying another one. You didn't even realize that you finished the whole packet in less than, 6 hours. And so you have to become consciously aware of what you're doing in your life so you can actually make a change. And you do that by grounding in the present moment and understanding that the power is within the choice. But, since you are the wielder of the choice, you have the power, but to make a certain choice is to be rendered powerless. And to make another choice is to be rendered powerful. And, that choice is going to reflect the outcome that you time collapse. And that outcome that you time collapse is either going to render you powerful in the future or powerless in the present and in the future. So understand that every moment of your life is a moment you'll never get back. And so every choice should be focused on the best outcome for yourself, like every single organism on the planet. To be relentlessly focused on the best outcome for you every day, and to drop anything that is going to inhibit and dissipate the opportunity of gold that bewaits you in your future as you pursue your personal development. It's that fucking simple. Peace!